Okay, and we're back. In the last episode, we just came up to the beginning of the forest dungeon. We've just made it in. Ooh. It's Shake. We met Shake before in the Temple of Time. Okay, we're about to learn a special song. Alright, we landed the Minuet of Forest. This is going to enable us to teleport back to the forest dungeon whenever we need to. Again, Shake manages to elude us. Okay, and it seems like the atmosphere is cleared up a little bit. Right, from here, we're going to see the infinite use of the hookshot. And as you can see, we can't use our shield while we've got our Biggoron sword out. See, if we didn't have the hookshot, we would literally not be able to get into the temple. It would be impossible. It's me trying to see if I could find a gold sculpture, but the gold sculpture is actually inside the temple area. I made a mistake. Right, we have to defeat these Wolfos. I think these are just grey Wolfos or white Wolfos? I'm not sure. I think it's grey. There's a specific method to doing this. You have to wait for them to attack, and then they'll turn their back to you, and then you hit them. But I'm not doing so well this time. Oh, he manages to get me. So yeah, that's how you do it. And having the Biggoron sword makes this a lot easier. You don't have to hit twice. They can shield themselves from you though. Yeah, alright, we took care of these guys. Yeah, having the Biggoron sword makes this a lot easier. Right, the first thing that we have to do is climb up these vines. These vines will enable us to get to the top of these tree trunks. And from the top of these tree trunks we'll be able to get a small key. And we need this small key in order to advance in the dungeon. We need to be able to get in somehow. So, okay, so there's the gold sculpture I was looking for before. Use our hookshot to get it. We have to jump across these tree trunks. I like the use of space. It actually makes you feel very high up. Sometimes when you're doing a lot of platforming in a 3D game, you can advance a really high distance, but not actually feel like you're that high up. Alright, here's a small key that I said we needed to get. I don't think there's any other gold sculptures that we need to get in this particular room either. Right, luckily we can take care of these skull vultures fairly easily, or large skulltula, big skulltulas. Alright, so there's 4 conches here for lamps, and these 4 lamps have had their fire stolen by 4 ghosts. So what we need to do is we need to light these lamps again in order to open up that elevator there, so that we can advance to the next part of the dungeon. So most of the dungeon is actually taken up killing these ghosts. So what we have to do straight away is run across to the opposite end of the dungeon. This will take us to the first ghost. It's just me looking for another gold sculpture again. I seem to remember that there was one over here, but it was actually on the other side of the staircase here. It's up on the right. You can hear it. Alright, let's grab this gold sculpture. It's waiting for a bit. There's a passageway. These guys are pretty difficult to take care of. But one of the good things is that if you have your sword sheathed, you can take out your shield straight away, so it helps with taking out these enemies. Alright, this is one of the first challenges in the game, or the dungeon, sorry, taking out 2 Stalfos. These Stalfos are pretty easy to take out if you pierce them underneath their shield. It's one particular way that I discovered earlier, or playing years before. You can kind of pierce them to their shield, and you do that by holding forward on your joystick and pressing B. So as you can see, I'm trying to stab underneath their shield, and it works. It's a fairly effective method. That's my particular way of taking care of Stalfos. This is me trying to see if Deku Nuts might stun them, but I don't think they do. No, Deku Nuts didn't work. Doesn't always, the piercing method doesn't always work. But it is pretty effective as long as they're not shielding themselves perfectly. These guys do a lot of damage if they do hit you. Alright, we got our first chest of the dungeon, the first major chest. Is it a major chest? No, I don't think it is. I think it's a small chest. Okay, so this aids us with another key. We're going to need as many keys as we can to advance. Oh, we got a fairy inside one of these bottles. Let's see if we can capture it. Let's head out. So we don't have our shield up. We don't have our weapon sheathed, so we can't use our shield. I should really just be avoiding this enemy. But I suppose it's useful to show you. So it doesn't cross my mind to avoid the enemy and just go through to the next room. I think those enemies give me quite a hard time later on in the dungeon. Right, the next thing that we need to do is head over to the right here. And there's a block with a symbol of the Temple of Time. And what we need to do is we need to play the Song of Time. It's a car alarm going off down the street. Alright, it's turned itself off. It's one of the joys of recording during the day. Many things, like my dog gets really distracted and barks at people walking down the street. And some people come up to my house to ask for donations, and it sets my dog off and I have to pause the recording, and it's irritating. Alright. Luckily you can stun these guys with your hookshot. Right, so there's a well over there to the left and a set of vines over here to the right. What we have to do is we have to climb the vines. We ignore the well for now because the well is full of water and we need to drain it somehow. So the only way to drain the well and access the passage underneath the well is to push a button that we get access to by climbing these vines. This is me using my dodging techniques against the Skullwalchulars. The definition of the video probably isn't that great, so you probably can't see which way it's facing, but we managed to avoid it. And it only just turns purple when we managed to get past. Okay, we entered this door, and the door locks behind us. We have to defeat... Luckily we can defeat this enemy pretty quickly because we had our weapon sheathed and we were able to use our shield. Is this a major... This is a major chest, so this is probably going to be a map. Wrong side of the chest. Right, yeah, it was a map. Excellent. Good, and we can move on to the next part of the... We're going to make sure we're in the right... Go through the right door. So this is taking us out to a mirror kind of courtyard. It's a mirrored courtyard and it's meant to confuse you about which orientation you're in with respect to the dungeon. So what we do is we angle our hookshot to this target over the other side and we climb through. And we push this button here. And by pushing this button we drain the well. And by draining the well we can access the path underneath it. The only thing that we have to do now is drop down. There's an Octorok here, and also a Deku Baba. Need to avoid these guys. May as well stun this guy again. And chop his stock off. Wonder if we can hit this Octorok with the slingshot. Slingshot! Hookshot. All the confusing names of the equipment. As you might notice, there's a chest over here. It's a wooden chest, and what we can do is we can grab onto that chest using the hookshot. I'm pretty sure there's only a heart inside this chest, but this enables us to get to a gold sculpture. These dungeons are a great source of gold sculptures, and you will pick up most of the gold sculptures for the end of the game inside dungeons, so you need to make sure that you scour them really carefully. Okay, I don't think there's anything else to be done here. So we just head back. I'm not sure if we jump down the well straight away, I think we do. There might be a ladder. Yeah, there's a ladder, so we can climb down the ladder. Very creepy. All we do is run to the other end. Just give you guys a look at the water level now. So the water level is much lower. I thought maybe that was a path that you could head down. Like if you could unlock those gates at the end of the well maybe, but I don't think you can. I was looking for a button of some description. I'm on the wrong side of the chest. Alright, we've got a small key. Excellent. Now we're really keyed up. We've got 3 keys. I think this phase of the dungeon is literally just you collecting keys so that you can get through the next phase. So like I said, this is a mirrored part of the dungeon. It looks really similar to the other part, but it's different. As you can see, it's got some sort of structure over there to the left, just as we defeat the Deku Baba. It's also got some vines as well. But we avoid this part of the dungeon now. We move on to a different part. So we exit, we've come out through a different door of the dungeon. What we have to do is we have to head up to the right here again. A lot of circling to the right. No, I think that's wrong. It's not to the right. No, we'll smash these pots. That was probably a fairy, but now it's clipped into the wall. Right, yeah, so this is the door to the right of that exit that we just came out of. So we go into this door, and there should be an enemy in here, another big sculpture. We can take care of that with a hook shot. Got lots of hearts. Alright, we're all healed up. Normally those A attacks don't work on that enemy very well. Okay, there's a door there just to our right. And this is a really close quarters room. It's very dank. Doesn't seem to be any kind of windows. I'll just climb up these ladders. We'll see what's up here. There seems to be arrows on the ground. Yeah, so like Navi says, there's arrows on the ground, arrows painted. So there's arrows here. Ah, okay, so it's a block puzzle. We have to move these blocks. And so we might be able to climb on top of them as well to get to higher ground. Reminiscences of the Stevie Wonder song. Trying to get a good vantage point because this is a really confusing area. There's not a lot of context that's been given to you. Okay, so we revealed a ladder to the right there. I think I might have pushed the block a bit too far. Yeah, gotta push it back. Luckily there's enough room for us to get in over here. Heaving away. This is gonna do Link's back in, probably. Linkle's back in. Right, I think now what we have to do is we have to circle back around over here and push the block in from this particular angle. Right, you fell into place. Excellent. Let's climb up this ladder and see what we can see though. Oh no, we're not going to climb up that ladder. Alright, let's climb up this block. I'm pretty sure that ladder is probably going to help us solve a puzzle from a different perspective. Or from a different angle. Try and look up. This is a really confusing area. All the walls are the same texture. Yeah, so you can get really confused about your orientation. Ah, okay, there's another block here. And we have to push that block down onto that platform there. So we'll pull this block out as far as we can. But we're not going to be able to pull it all the way out. So I think that ladder is probably what's going to help us solve the rest of this puzzle. So we'll climb all the way down. Try and get to that ladder. Whoop. Almost took a fall. Well, make sure we don't get locked onto that ladder. The context-sensitive buttons can be difficult sometimes. So there we got a quick glimpse of the block that we're meant to be pushing, but what's on the other side of this fence? Okay, there's some sort of switch. That's a gold switch though, I've never seen a gold switch before. I wonder how you can trigger it. So that was the ladder area that we just came out of. That's some sort of nondescript area there, I'm not sure what that is. But I think we're meant to be heading up and not down, so let's not go down. Let's go push that block again. Alright, we pushed the block into place. I think now we have to head all the way back around. So if we go down the ladder, we'll jump down this area here. I wonder where this will take us. It's very confusing. Okay, so it took us back to the beginning. Okay, we just went up that ladder there, so we don't go back up the ladder, because that's where we just came from. We need to get to the other side of the block again. So we'll head back up here. Alright, block pushing time. So where are we now? All the walls look really similar. So okay, we're on the other side of that gold switch. And that's all the area down there that we were just in. The first part of this room. Alright, and that's the end of this episode. Oh, I didn't realize it. Okay, we'll end it here. We'll continue more of this dungeon. I think this dungeon only takes about 3 episodes to complete, so you guys should be looking forward to finishing it this week. If you're watching all in one go, then you should be able to just watch the next episode and not worry too much. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.